week's episode of Gundam Reconguista in G, the Capital Army and the Amerian Army must form an uneasy alliance so that they must combat the evil space forces of Towasanga. I say evil only because they seem like the only true antagonists that we've seen so far, although I don't trust Colonel Koopa from the Capital Army. He still is a very shady individual, whether it just be his nervous tics when he's constantly looking around the room, or when suddenly the Towasanga negotiations team came in and he suddenly made a quick retreat. I'm not really sure what's up with this guy. Maybe he has some sort of ulterior motive. Maybe he actually is working with Towasanga. That's an element that I think is going to make this whole series really interesting. But this week's episode was surreal, to say the least. It was very strange to see the two opposing sides come together so easily and start working together. And in many ways, that's a good thing. It shows that humanity has really come a long way. But y'all gotta admit, that one scene when they were all hanging out in the elevator together, there was something really awkward and funny about that scene. Almost as if these guys have been hanging out their entire lives, and some of them have. Bellry doesn't even realize that Mask is Lewin Lee, but they're avoiding that whole part of the story thus far. What is really cool, though, is we get to see all of them team up, and I really love the fact that a lot of them have different mobile suits, or at least variants on the mobile suit they're using. So when they all go out at the same time, it just looks like this brand new collection of badass mobile suits from the series, and it's allowed me to sort of appreciate the mecha of this show. And there's going to be a lot of new ones, too, because the Towasanga Army has their own breed of mobile suits, which kind of remind me of the Crossbone Vanguards from Gundam F91, but only because they have those, like, goggles on their eyes. But they're still slightly reminiscent of, say, the Zeon Zaku's, and they even have these weird multicolored parts all over their body, which don't even seem to have, like, a theme going for them. And I'm still really interested to learn what's up with Towasanga, who basically just come across as this, like, basically highly aristocratic, almost Zeon-esque space colony. And what's really cool is it looks like Bellry and Ida and their group are going to get back on the Megafauna, and they're going to go on a journey to Towasanga, and we're going to get to see what this place is all about and why they've decided to sort of take over the Earth. Or as Clem Nick would say, they're going to try and recolonize it. A Reconguista, if you will. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Gundam Reconguista in G? Another very strange episode. It's weird. We have, like, all of our major players in one spot at once, and yet you really still can't quite see where it is going, especially with the introduction of this brand new force, Towasanga, who, like I said, they come across as very Zeon-like. They have sort of the same look, especially in their costume design, which is very flashy and interesting, and just always looks really nice. I love how the old school nature of their uniform sort of clashes with the future look of the entire show. But I think the best thing about this episode was just getting to see everybody team up, which I just didn't expect would happen, and so easily, especially when they all met each other. It was great, especially the interactions between Lewin Lee, or Mask, and Clem Nick, just the fact that he was praising him for his genius plan, which didn't work at all, because as soon as they ran into Towasanga, they just started firing at them like crazy. And they introduced a few new characters from the Towasanga side. This one blonde-looking kid who's going to be important, but that's only because he speaks a lot, and of course he has a distinctive character design. So you know he's going to be an important character, and probably one of the rivals for the main people. The thing is, I'm not really sure where the story is going now. Like, I always just sort of figured that the Capital Army was going to be the antagonist force of the series, and it could still go in that direction. There's still a possibility for that, and a lot of that has to do with the character of Colonel Koopa, who's revealing nothing, but they're giving all these, like, little subtle hints and cues to him, which gets me really interested to see what his plan is actually going to be. However, Araya does seem to have some sort of connection to that one guy by the name of Doret, the guy who's actually with Towasanga, so maybe that'll turn into something eventually. Otherwise, this is still a good episode with a lot of flashy mobile suit battles, getting to see our favorite characters team up. The elevator scene was pretty damn funny. There was a reunion with Manny, and we got to see the brand new enemies of the series, the Towasanga Space Colony, and I can't wait to see what they're all about and how their backstory is going to turn and make this series into something really epic. A lot of people are theorizing that it might have some sort of connection to Turn a Gundam. I really wouldn't know, because I'm not that big of a fan of Turn a Gundam, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that I haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen Turn a Gundam. I've seen bits and pieces from it, and what I am excited about, it is apparently going to be released on DVD next year, I think through Right Stuff, which is pretty freaking awesome, because I cannot wait to pick it up. If it does tie into that series, I'm probably going to be missing out on the fact that I didn't see it, but still, I am interested to see where this series is going. There's still a lot of mystery behind it. They're just I wish there was just more focus. I just wish there was more, you know, character development for the main characters, Bellry, Rariah, and Ida. You know, we still don't really know much about them outside of, like, what's on the outside, like, at face value. I still think there's a lot of room for development in this series, and, you know, the fact that it's got such high quality and everything, I don't know if it's going to be just a one-season show. You know, maybe they'll try to divide it out into 2 seasons, a la Gundam 00, or maybe they're just going to give us, like, a full-on big traditional 50-episode Gundam anime series. All I know is it's still got my attention. It's just still a little hard to follow at times, but it looks beautiful. It's got some really flashy battles, and the mecha designs are just plain awesome and really unique. So I liked this episode. I loved pretty much everything about it, except for all the confusing nature and the fact that Rariah's character is not changing. So I'm going to give this week's episode a 4 out of 5. Another really good episode of this very high-quality Gundam series, which it just begs rewatching, just because it'll make you understand the show just a little bit more. So check it out, old school Gundam fans. Pretty good stuff. Thank you guys for watching my review. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And before you leave, please tell me in the comments section below what you thought about this week's episode of Gundam Reconguista in G. What do you want to see from the rest of this brand new Gundam anime series? Before you guys leave, you can subscribe to our channel if you have not already. You can do that by clicking on the little icon right up here, and you guys can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter.